Anna, amazing. So nice to meet you in person. Like you're real. I could touch you.
It was funny. When I saw you on the street, I was like, you want to... Oh, it's you.
Yeah, it's so weird, isn't it? When you've done that thing, you've done the video call thing, and then we're here. Oh, there's a brunch.
That's all right. That's all right.
Let's pop that back nicely.
A little bit. I probably doesn't need to. Oh, there we go. That's it. I was like, I just have to live with this. No, I don't. There we go.
This one's nice.
This one's all right.
It's like a little bit of decor, isn't it?
It is.
But yeah, no, it's so cool to meet you. It's so cool to have been in your room today where you were so raw and honest and truthful. And like my first question is, how do you do that?
I think it's the most natural thing for me to do. I'm a very honest person, and I'm really comfortable sharing things, obviously consensually and in a space that's appropriate. But yeah, the space of comedy, I haven't realized this until more recently. I have such a tendency towards dark material, and so I feel like I've finessed a little bit the way of bringing people on board so I can go really, really honest and dark with things and say these things that most people wouldn't utter out loud.
And do you know what? That's what I loved about your room, how you brought people on board. Normally when I'm in a stand-ups room and there's the you, and there's the interaction with the audience, I start to get a little bit of anxiety.
I am.
And I'm normally like, oh shit, what they like what is going to be asked of me? Like where am I going to be drawn into this? Yeah. But with this, you were going around the room, and I think I was like the last one, but it just felt like I was in your living room with you.
Oh, that's so nice to hear.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like I didn't have that normal anxiety thing.
Oh, that's beautiful. I do. Yeah, I'm also like, because I work so many rooms in Berlin. It's what I do, and I feel like comedy's it's a two-way thing. It's not just me talking to an audience. Every show is different depending on who's in the audience, and I really love getting, like, I want to hear how everyone else is going, and who am I speaking to? It's like, how can I bring you in on what I've experienced as well, and and also I learn things from audiences as well, but making people feel comfortable, I think, is the number one important thing with comedy, particularly the kind of comedy I like to do.
Yes, yeah. When you're going to go to that darker place, I guess you need to find some common ground first of all.
Oh yeah, exactly. And also just make people feel at ease. And it's so nice hearing that you didn't feel any, because I've definitely been in a million shows where I'm like, I don't want to be spoken to, and that's I
think that's how I've always felt, in fact, within those comedy rooms, within stand-up rooms. And and I really didn't get that tonight. I really just got at ease, laughing, enjoying myself.
That's so nice.
And that was nice. And at the beginning, it was early, and it was just like this natural engagement happening with all of us. There were some jokes early on, but it wasn't anything too dark yet. And then as we went into the darkness, we were like, oh shit, yeah, because we've been there too.
Exactly. And getting a little bit of vulnerability from the audience. I think it's also really important. The longer I've done this, the more I feel like it's important to be vulnerable first. Some comics will just start straight up with doing the crowd work, and that can work, but if you are doing more vulnerable material and darker stuff, it's important to, I think, share yourself first so that everyone else feels comfortable to share back and step in with you. That's thank you. I'm really happy you felt. I did feel tonight a little bit off because of the day that I've had, but by the end I felt like everyone was really. I'm like also there were the sort of drunk younger ladies that I'm glad came in. They were a little bit disruptive for my concentration at some points, but they were. Yeah,
because you've got a small room here, haven't you? You've got a really intimate space that I can only imagine from where you're standing. You can see all of us.
Well, actually, the way I did it, I turn off the house lights, and I actually have to struggle to see you with that setup. I've noticed that that's a better setup for that room. Like, if you can have all the lights down, it means everyone can relax and have their own natural responses to jokes. If it's all fully lit, then people can clam up a little bit more. And so that's why I'd like to have that down. So I couldn't see everybody, honestly. I couldn't see the responses, but I do like to be able to. But it's a bigger room than I've had in the last years. It sits like 30 people. But tonight it was like 10, maybe less than 10. It was like 10 actually. Quick math. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Well, you sound like you've got a good system down of how to make the room feel at ease. And because I went into a room the other night here, and it was in the middle of the day. It was bright. It was everyone could see everyone, and there was a lot of awkwardness going on in the room. It was just like everyone was a bit like,
What kind of topics were you dealing with?
It wasn't really topics.
Okay.
It was like offbeat comedy. It was like the weird comedy that you kind of have to be in that space, and I wish I'd taken some drugs beforehand so I could have enjoyed it a lot more. Yeah. And then I'd have been like, yeah, I get this now. But being completely sober at like 4 o'clock, it was like, and the rest of the room was like, we're not in the space for this.
And when it's super bright, like I feel like super bright means there's a lot of pressure on you to respond. To whatever's happening, because everyone can see everyone, and so the pressure can get too much. Yeah, my last rooms here were most of my rooms that I perform in are honestly really bright in Berlin and here, and it puts a lot more, it makes a lot more work for you to make everyone feel comfortable if everyone can see everyone.
So comparing Berlin to here then, what's the difference between the two?
I think the biggest difference, even though I do attract a lot of more international, like European or otherwise audiences, because I list myself as a German act, I did just change that I changed it to Australian to see if more reviewers will come.
Okay.
I feel like no one credits Germany with stand-up comedy abilities, so I've just switched that to see if that'll change anything. But
and has it?
Not well. It's been a day.
It's been 2 days. Oh, okay.
So let's see. But it's funny when I flyer. If I say like I'm a Berlin-based comic, people are like. If I say I'm an Australian comic, they're like, oh, and that happens consistently. People think Australians are funny, and there's some truth in that. We do have a culture of stand-up. But hold on, I've lost where were we? We were talking about
like comparing Berlin to
Edinburgh.
Yeah,
I'd say the audiences because even though I attract internationals here, I would say by and large audiences are English and Scottish and Irish here, and so you're dealing with an educated comedy audience. They know what stand-up is. I've also seen like a few shows this week where I'm just like, wow, this comedy exists and there's an audience for that. Like, okay, like there's so many different things that exist, and that's wonderful. And so yes, I would say the audiences are educated in comedy, whereas in mainland Europe, you kind of have to say like, okay, this is what stand-up comedy is, and like, you're supposed to laugh. You're supposed to laugh audibly. Don't worry about interrupting us. Whereas here, they know what it is. You don't have to explain what you're doing.
And I think when you're here as well, is this different that you've got other comedians in the room with you? I know there was another comedian here today. Like acts supporting each other here a little bit more.
That does happen in Berlin, or it's usually people that are on the lineup. But I would also say just on the audience makeup, I would say that my brain is just now going into a fade out mode.
Yeah, well we're like at 11:30. We're like we've just done your show, so completely understandable.
But what was I thinking? I was thinking. Also because most of the audiences are native English speaking, you can talk faster.
Right.
And so my rhythm changes when I'm here because I'm not needing to repeat things in case, like in Germany and in mainland Europe, like I will, to make sure a punchline hits, I will repeat the core things in the premise to make sure it hits. And I will talk, and I'll be very clear in how I enunciate everything. And whereas here I can mumble. I can throw in like a bunch of other little references and jokes in between, and it's like I can tag everything up to the tens, and people are with me, whereas in can't do that.
No, so you've got more of a flow, more of a rhythm going on.
Yeah, and look, the momentum builds so much more with these audiences. Like I still build it back home, but it's and they also laugh at different things. Like it's so funny the things that. Certain things that really get crazy laughs back in Berlin versus here. I think it's like different references and understandings, or how things sound, or it's.
Is that like a society thing?
I think it's. Is it a society thing? I think it's a cultural thing. Yeah. So I think it's like some of the things that people laugh at in Berlin versus here. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a specific one, but it's like it's surprising because it's like. Oh, and I'll even notice that the Europeans in the room will laugh at that thing, and the English won't. Yeah. I can't think of the example, but there are a few points in my solo where I'm like, that's so interesting. Like, why does that connect for them and not them?
You know, that's the kind of thing that's going to come back to you at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, 100%.
Where you're just going to be like, that's the joke that they don't.
Yes. And it's because of that. And, yeah, and I'm going to remember the actual joke. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your time here as well. You said like you were a little bit off before the show.
Yeah.
How are you feeling actually just being here in Edinburgh?
I've been really good, honestly, although it's so annoying to make it about my partner. It's just like, can I be a strong, independent woman that has like not this need for support from a lover? But honestly, I got here and I was immediately, I always forget when I miss the physical, like just even like, you know, the skin hand contact with my partner, I get really depressed really quickly. And I was really depressed for maybe 3 or 4 days, and then started to like refocus and enjoy it. But I was like, why am I here? Why do I do this? Why do I pull myself away from the person that gives me the most joy? And then got over that, and then
what was there? Did you find an answer in getting over that?
I think it's just time. I think it's just like just time.
Just give it a minute and it'll be all right.
Yeah, like 4 days. Yeah. And get on the dating apps and see if there's anyone, and be like, nope, there's no one. I'm just going to focus in on my work. And then, just really focusing in on the work and being like, just enjoying the development. And so my solo that you saw tonight, it's like all the changes that have happened in the last like 12 days. Like there's been so many, and like I've moved things around and written things, and it's like from where it was when I toured Germany and Luxembourg in February to where it is now, it's like, I'm really, so that's really been my focus, really focusing in on the connecting with audiences, the performance, I enjoy flyering. It's just like getting focused on the task at hand.
Yeah.
That's how I move beyond
I'm such a weak, independent person.
No, I think it's like just human nature. I think
lame.
Well, I think like when I was having like relationship issues and things, and when I came away from that, and I think there was a moment for me where I was so desperate for human connection that I was choosing the wrong human connections, like what you've been through, what you went into within your routine, like because we're so desperate to connect with someone that we're so like wanting that bond, that connection, that it's almost like a drug addict thing, isn't it? You'll just go anywhere for it.
Oh yeah, and the number of times you'll go for people who reflect that same kind of like parent bond trauma that you've got. So like, like I don't know, if you had issues with your mum or your dad, you're gonna go for exactly that kind of person who's gonna mess you up in all the ways you know how to deal with / not deal with. Yeah, man, it's tough, but I've definitely moved beyond that, and now it's just like. Now it's like, how to fight, having communication issues with your partner when you're away from them. Then that's the next thing that's like, what a drain. Other than that, I'm tip top. I haven't been overcommitting, so usually I end up doing like 80, like close to 80 shows during the month, and so far I've only done 35, so I'm really giving myself time to breathe. I brought my yoga mat, so I'm like stretching and doing sit-ups and like feeling connected with my body. I'm eating healthy, I'm getting up early, doing all my Berlin admin, calling mum, calling my partner, whatever, and then like I feel very
and then it sounds like you're connecting with yourself.
Yes.
Yeah?
I feel like I'm connecting with myself.
And how does that feel then?
It feels good.
Yeah. It feels good, but yeah. Okay, I hear you saying, but no.
It's interesting. It's an interesting topic. So in my first week of being all like, I ended up watching a drama on my first day off that triggered all of this processing that I didn't expect. Okay. Because I needed to watch something to make me cry, because I felt like I was dealing with all these emotions, but I was just like going and not like letting myself feel. So I watched the series called Maid, M-A-I-D, with Margaret Qualley, and it brought up all of this like abusive relationship stuff that I hadn't processed, and it's been a very weird Fringe for me, because since then I have then had a stalker issue in Berlin, so I'm going to need to like report that when I get back to Berlin, and then like some other claims about a comedian have come out that he's got domestic violence stuff going on against him, and so it's just like I've been processing all of this like nasty stuff since I've been here, so there's also that going on.
Wow. So what? Because sorry, if you don't want to go into it.
No, I'm happy to go into it, but if you don't want to go into it, I'll say.
No. So is this something because you're doing stand-up, because you're in the public space, that someone's kind of intruding that?
Yes. I've had lots of really I would say, intense supporters without calling them crazy fans, but no, they were crazy fans. But I've had very intense supporters who've like gifted me many things to the point where I've had to be like, please stop, this is too much, and I felt very uncomfortable by it. And that's not me being like kind of quite crazy stuff. And multiple instances of that, and then being in this public space and being someone who shares their stuff very honestly, and
so maybe some people then in the audience feel that connection too strong.
Yes, and also there's my podcast as well.
We're being quite open and honest on this, aren't we? And that's what we do in this space.
Absolutely,
we share our truth, and so. I guess sometimes the audience can feel like they know you better than they do.
Yes, and that's always the difficult thing. And so this recent incident, this person just expecting to have some kind of relationship with me and demanding it, and me being very busy and not responding to them, and now getting very aggressive, insulting emails, even though I've blocked them on social media through my website, and they're not stopping after I've said, please stop. And then I've said, otherwise I will have to report you, and then they've responded yet again. And so it's like, and it's a horrible feeling like
it sounds like a bit icky.
It's very icky.
Yeah.
And the most annoying thing is that you're thinking about this person
when you're in Edinburgh.
And they're not even in my life, and yet they've infiltrated to make me feel uncomfortable. And so they've forced their way into my consciousness, and that's the part where you get angry, and resentful of that. So and then that had an effect of being like, why am I even doing this? Like, why do I put myself out there? And and then with all of the sort of like the swell of the domestic violence experience and sort of stuff in the orbit of comedy as well, like just some of the men around. It's like hard to not start feeling angry towards men, and it's like I've got so many wonderful men in my life, but it's like it's hard because this industry is very male dominated, and then you're putting yourself out there, and then it's been quite a lot going on emotionally and psychologically. So as much as like I'm feeling myself, I've been also just feeling a lot of like toxic social stuff that I've been processing.
So have you got any advice for anyone that's coming into the industry, how to protect themselves and look after themselves against all of that?
Yeah, I would say something that I learned quite slowly, and I think the thing is, there's no way of avoiding people who are gonna violate your boundaries. You can't avoid that. That's gonna happen, and then you have to take the action and then deal with it. There's certainly no victim blaming. But you can, and what I had to start doing in my earlier years of comedy when I was getting all these sort of really intense supporters with gifts and stuff, just not feel like I have to include them in any kind of post-show hang. And in fact, after a show, can stay for a drink with them, maybe, but then that's it. Hey, I'm going. I'm going to go and live my life. That's very separate to what experience you just had with me. And absolutely not feeling compelled at all to hang out with them. Just because they're an audience member doesn't mean you are indebted to them or anything like that.
You've shared your craft with them. That was what they paid to come and see. They didn't pay for more.
Yes, exactly. But I'm very much doing comedy because I love to bring people together, and it's good vibes, and it's like sharing things. And so finding that line of, all right, this is where the show stopped, and actually no, I'm hanging out with my friends here. It was lovely having you. Yeah, that's my advice. Do that as early as possible, immediately. Yeah.
So, is there anything you can take for yourself within that advice?
I carry all of that stuff, so I feel like the only real thing that what could I say? No, like I feel like I carry, like I act on all of this stuff. It's all applied skill, like applied lessons. So my mum like this morning was like, oh well, is there something that you should have done differently? I'm like, no, what are you talking about? Like I'm really clear with my boundaries, and there's no way that Yeah, honestly, maybe I actually shouldn't have given this. But yeah, there's one thing. I feel like there's one thing. So this person was a kind of this person that's a problem. It's a show up to go up comedian. So he did actually perform on one of my shows when anyone could perform. And on the very last instance of that show, I stopped doing it because of all the crazies that were signing up who were very entitled and behaving poorly to the audience and to me. The very last edition of that show, this person got up on stage and roasted me because there was a roast battle ongoing that I was a part of, and I guess they were inspired by that, and they decided to roast me, and that's just not, when it's not invited, and it was very, very mean, and I think I told them, I'm like, if you do that to any host or producer, you will not be given stage time in the future, and it's very poor etiquette. Like that's going against all kind of respectful etiquette. And I was very professional about it. After that, I shouldn't have given this person another opportunity on my show. But I'm nice, and I was it was months had passed, and I was like, I was very stern with them and very clear, and so maybe given how mean it was and how like not okay and how not reading the situation it was, maybe, but still, no, I still think I probably acted fine. So, no, just be very clear with your boundaries.
Just be clear with the boundaries. There's a line. Oh, they're going in for another show.
They are going in for another show. It's all good.
Well, I've got another show to go to.
Okay,
so it's been wonderful speaking to you.
It's been a pleasure.
But last question before I go. I want to know about any hopes and dreams that you have for the rest of the Fringe, because we're at like the halfway point at the moment, aren't we?
We are.
So how do you hope the rest of this Fringe looks?
I hope the rest of the Fringe looks much like it's already looked. I don't like, I think I mentioned on the last thing, I don't like to hope for things, but it would be lovely if the last like Saturday, Sunday is as full as the previous Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, very loud.
Yeah, we'll talk louder than him. Louder. We can do loud. We can do loud.
It's the Kanye tweets. Okay. All right, that's appropriate. It's a obnoxious comedy for sure. I'm sure they're great. But yeah, I hope that I hope that my shows continue to have like good rooms, full rooms, and yeah, I just want to break even. Really, I would like to turn a profit, but I went all out.
You don't want to go home poor.
I don't want to go home poor.
You want to be able to afford to make it home.
I will be able to afford that for sure. I would like to turn a bit of a profit because I did spend way more on my accommodation this year. So if I turn a little bit of a profit, so I just want more full rooms. I would like a reviewer in from the press. That would be lovely. And that's it, but I don't want to stay healthy. That's it.
Wonderful. That's nice. That's so cool. Well, thanks again, Anna. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Always touching.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. And if anyone has been watching or listening, we appreciate you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you. Cute.